liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everyone. Thanks for coming. Do we have any additions to the agenda? Hearing none, look for approval. Consent agenda.
I'll move to approve the consent agenda items as presented.
Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? None. Submit your vote. Some kind of, well, I'll forget it next week. I think you're right. Did you?
Ronnie, your vote's not recording.
Sorry, because I haven't voted.
We're on tired. Sorry. Hey, Ronnie, we're still waiting on you.
Nope.
No?
Oh, wait,
Ah,
you're
motion carries 7-0.
6.
6, oh. Oh,
And Monique is not here tonight.
Oh, Miss Monique.
She's out of town.
Motion carries 6-0. Concerns regarding PSD 244 patrons, and doesn't look like we have anybody. So, moving right along. 4, written communications.
Nope.
None? This is gonna be, we're sailing right along. So we have Darla, BS report.
Any questions for me?
Question, Darla? You're unclear. Matt?
The only thing that I would add is, would be around the reading interventionists and things that we're doing right now as we're seeing.
Okay, that's what I was.
Yeah.
Transferred to another school or just,
Mhm.
okay, that's.
Yeah,
And is that since the beginning of this year?
yes. This is the total, and then actually, as of tomorrow, we'll have one more transferred out.
And,
Just reasons, I mean,
Yeah, just-
I think it's a bigger conversation about what is happening. But a lot of that is, they transfer, they go online, that's their best choice, but then we look at the GED. And even just 2 kids on GEDs, those are the type of kids we wanna see, if we can capture those. The rest comes and goes, but, if they're staying around this area and not getting a high school diploma, I think that's our main focus.
yeah, absolutely.
So-
You mentioned the kids taking online classes, being in the library, and I think that's awesome, giving them all the opportunities to take all the different things they might need or whatever they can do. I will also say, my youngest son is taking college algebra, and he's actually in the math class. He sits in one of the math classes that he's not taking. He's in, I think he sits in there with the consumer math kids, but he's taking a different class. And Miss Humlachek is his teacher, and she has helped him out quite a bit. I think he would have been a little bit lost, to be honest with you, if he didn't have her there. And I want to make sure that we're giving credit to those teachers. If that's not her student necessarily, she's kind of just there to babysit him, make sure he's showing up and doing his work, but she's helped him out a lot when it wasn't necessarily her prime, job at that time, so.
Ms. Harrison also has, what we found with college with calculus is kids are not very successful through calculus.
Yeah, it's
And
calculus.
so, it's 5 hours of intense, math. And so last year we started pre-calc, first semester for high school credit, which preps them, and then they'll be taking it online, but she'll be right there with them. Allen County shares all their stuff with us, and so she can go through lessons with them, and so it's really good for the students. And then a positive is that she got accepted and she's starting her master's in math. I don't know why, but she's starting her master's in math, which moves us towards being able to have our own math teacher at
That's
the
awesome.
collegiate level. And so, good things happen, and like I said, again, I looked at her first year teacher, amazing, and I'm like, seriously, a math master, you know? So, but she's in that way, so. Awesome.
By the way, on a side note, Mr. Wilson is okay. He's not been like attacked by anybody. He's not here tonight. He was not feeling well. He's not been, hasn't been attacked by the volleyball girls or anything like that, so he is not
He's just-
feeling well. Hopefully back here tomorrow.
He's just been banned, right?
If we have a transfer out in the middle of the year like that, does it open up a spot for an out-of-district transfer in?
That's a real good question. We have had discussion because open enrollment
Right.
is, it's there. So what we have done in the past, and we actually sat around this table today to talk about this because we've had two situations pop up in terms of after September 20th. So with that being said, if they're in our district, we accept them no matter what. Even if our capacity is slightly over, we have to accept them as in-district students. Now, what we've done in the past, in the years past, is what we have, after September 20th, out-of-district kids, we're not accepting out-of-district kids. That's kind of been our deadline, if you will. And and the two different situations we had, they were both a little bit different. And so you want to have a firm, again, a firm practice in place, in this case policy, we've got a policy in place, but as far as whether we accept them or we don't, September 20th has been our out-of-district, deadline, if you will. So, to answer your question, not necessarily, it doesn't open up a spot for an out-of-district student because we are not going to be accepting out-of-district students. Now, they can apply, go through the process like we started with our open enrollment piece, June 1 to June 30. They can apply at that point in time, and then we'll relook at our capacities. If we have to make any adjustments, we will. But, so no, it does not open up another slot.
So as of today, we haven't accepted any.
Any out-of-district kids after September 20th? No. Good question.
Is it like one certain area where the freshmen are struggling, or is it just kind of, it just varies?
Well, I disaggregated some of the students' information and, thinking, okay, is it that, because we are still down 4 pairs and in the classrooms, and we have quite a load of identified students. So I thought, you kind of go to, like, are they getting not enough help? And it's across the board. So it's not just students who have been identified needing like pair support. And so what we're working on is on the 21st, we're doing a whole half-a-day instructional strategies, and our pairs are coming so that we're like co-teaching, so that they're comfortable with doing individualized pieces over here, and if we're doing stations or whatever it might be. And so we're gonna have a fun doing that because we have so many transition to teachers as well, is that they haven't had these classes. And so we're really focusing on those instructional pieces in the class because I feel we can be successful, but it's gonna take, we gotta get everybody on board. We need to get their confidence up and to work with the students. So it's not just one area, it's organization, and it's again handing it in, and I'll just get passed on to the next grade, there's like, it'll be fine. And as we're having individual conversations, they like, what are credits, So a little bit of education, a lot of good parent support with that. We have, right now, we're about 95% with student-led conferences, which even though when parents don't come, we do an adult that sits in for the parents, so they do their, what are my goals and all the things we have them do. And so we feel like things are starting, we're seeing less behaviors of the newness of high school, all those kind of things, because I have a chart for that as well, and we report that every day. And so we're seeing a lot of good things, and then the grades will come, and then the different sports and getting them active. So it's just the variables is getting them involved. So we're working towards it. So if I could pinpoint it and write a book, y'all could retire.
Right.
But it's,
It's a lot of different angles.
Yeah.
First 9 weeks for freshmen, it's a learning experience, and it tends to be, that's what is referenced here at times.
It's an adjustment.
Okay. Anything else from Jody?
Oh, but Matt, I did want to say Reality U, thank you for
Oh, it's
continuing
awesome.
that
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the community and,
Even the crying babies.
right, even the crime movies, but yeah, it's just a good,
Yes.
it's a reality check for kids.
So I went over to the car dealerships, and they don't even offer the used car side. You have to ask. So, for example, Jared Ekton's sitting there, and I'm like, so what are you selling? Oh, just new cars. Teslas, F-150s.
Mhm.
And there was one student that came over and said, do you have anything cheaper? So some are aware of that.
Yeah.
It is a neat experience for kids though.
But
Yeah.
the sophomores, this is their second time, so game changer, because I was stood by the loans, just kind of waiting, and like, who's gonna get the first loan, right? And, the first time they go through it, they're at the loan place, like,
Yeah.
find it.
Yeah,
And
I'll just go get a loan next
I'll
month.
just give it a loan, that's no big deal. But yeah, so it was interesting to see that 2 years later, that they have learned something, and then again with that, to bounce off is that class of 2028 is they will have financial literacy through high school.
Yeah, the whole
So
bit, I mean, it starts,
They
in
have to.
middle school, and they start kind of the shock, and then, like you said, the sophomores, they've kind of learned a little more, so hopefully when we have kids graduated, they understand.
And that's a huge credit to Crystal Ekton. She
Finance.
organizes that,
Yeah.
finds the volunteers and all that. She spends a lot of time on that.
That's, yeah, very thankful for the community volunteers for coming in and helping with that.
Very good, anything else? Okay, Lindsay, all yours.
All I'll add is that we are getting close to our law conference. There's 6 of us going this year. I think I included those people. We open that up to admin throughout the whole county each year and try to kind of spread terms around. And then my school psychs, my assistant and I go all the time. And that's exciting because it's a lot of really good information. Not everybody loves that conference, but some of us do. On the hiring front, still short at the high school and not getting a lot of applicants. On the positive side though, I hired 3 people today. They just all went Littles and probably best served at the Littles. So we are getting some holes filled, which is good, but I would say overall openings though, we're still probably 4, 5, maybe 6. So it's not bad. Not perfect. but not bad.
Okay. Anything else for Lindsay? Mr. Gould?
I'll just kind of add into what I put here, that we had a really major course switch change out, which affects River Waverly, Burlington Schools, the library, 6 libraries, the hospital, the courthouse, and all of their entities, and it went super smoothly. We were only down about an hour, hour and a half total for that. So it went really well. All of our ENR records for count day are all up. September 20th is kind of the pinpoint date, but none of the records actually go up until October, and so that is all completed, and we're still learning a lot about Parent Square, but it has been very useful and very handy in a lot of ways already.
Yeah, I
I like the
like
one
the
app.
messages, I liked the signing up for the conferences through there,
Mhm.
like it was,
So I really like Parent Square. Is there ever a possibility to have student grades on Parent Square though, so you're not still going out to Skyward? Is that ever a potential to be on one platform?
Probably not.
Not
Probably not.
Chris, we remember to ask me. Okay, I was just curious.
It's the Curtis class.
What's
Way too
Okay, thank you, Craig.
And I just wanna say thank you to Craig and his team, because like if I call, well, I'll just be honest, it's very common that I call at least one of them and say, I broke it. But they're all super fast to get whatever I broke, fixed, or just to tell me how to do it the right way, so it's great to know that we have those resources on hand.
Okay.
This isn't on my report, but again, I want to say thank you to our administrators and directors. It's been a very, very good first 9 weeks so far, it really has. We still have our challenges. That's why we get up in the morning and come to work, because we've got some challenges. So anyway, but they've done a really good job with a good start to the school year, and I want to thank them for their leadership and organization. So. And kind of tied in with what Craig said, organizational reports, those are for September 20th count day. I want to thank all of our office staff, secretaries, principals, tech department, central office staff. It's a lot. It is an awful lot to get everything uploaded and ready to go, and they do a terrific job. And there are some school districts that sometimes are on the naughty list for not getting it done by October 10th. We are not on the naughty list, and we very rarely, if ever, are on a naughty list. We get our stuff done and taken care of. So again, a lot of people involved with that. Just everyone does a really good job with that. So we've got a half day of in-service coming up on the 21st. That's building led in-service for a half a day, and then the afternoon will be a scheduled teacher work day. And we are into the first 9 weeks. Come this Friday. It's hard to believe, but a quarter of the year's over already. Received some very nice news from Mammoth Sports Company as well as American Sports Builders Association. Mammoth Construction put us up for this turf project that we did from Wildcat Athletic Complex, and we received a very nice award. We'll be getting with Katie here to do some news information in the paper, get some quotes, not only from us, but from Mammoth. Mammoth wants to do, I've been in touch with Steve Noble, they want to do kind of a promotional video, which is really nice. They'll bring their people down and do some video and some different things. If you guys have not been out to the athletic complex on a Saturday, well, be prepared to walk a little bit. You may have to park. It's not quite like a Friday night football game where you're maybe parking way out yonder, but there's little kids all over the place. It is just amazing. And they're coming from out of town as far as like Council Grove, Madison, Hartford, Southern Coffee County, Lebo Waverly, I mean all over the place. It is just incredible. And just for us to be able to have that here in our community, and it's something else.
This week will be also a good week because the 5th and 6th grade teams both play at home too, so.
Yes, so we get a lot of compliments from people out of town that wish they had what we had. So again, very nice award from them. We'll get some PR out for that, and yeah, very nice. I want to review from again, strategic plan is something we put on our forefront. Just it's in my office, front and center, and each of the buildings, their staff, they've got it in their classrooms. So the strategic plan, we did it, oh gosh, it's almost this year and a half or so ago. I will send this out to the strategic planning committee too, so they know that we're still thinking about what we have done even 2 years ago. And some of these pieces of information, a few of them are from last year, but also there's some new information there. That if you look, I think I put down the elementary school 21st century program continues to have a lot of kids, and that is a tremendous asset to obviously to our community and student success. The things that they're doing in the after school program, up to 70 to 90 kids, it just depends on the day. And God bless Darla and her staff for doing that, because it's a lot of work. It is a lot of
one more year of funding on that?
One more year,
and
one more year.
we're going to hope that will continue. We have got to do everything we can to, when I say continue with that program. I'm not going to go over everything on this list. Jody mentioned something about the different number of classes that we do have at the high school, and the online classes that we have about 59 kids enrolled in the online classes, 3 students in the credit recovery, 14 students in college courses from Allen, Emporia State, Flint Hills Tech College, and about 34 different students are taking 16 different Edgenuity classes. And so the kids they're given a variety of options that haven't been available in the past. I really reflectively, I thought about, okay, if you're at Burlington High School 9 years ago, and this isn't just me, this is the people that elementary, middle, and high school. If you're not successful at Burlington High School with everything that we're offering, at a small school, we're not like Shawnee Mission or Olathe, but you've got online courses, credit recovery courses, you've got college level courses. We're taking kids to Flint Hills Technical College every day or Garnett every day. we have apprenticeships, internships going on. I mean, if you're not successful, you're probably trying pretty hard not to be successful, because we're offering a lot of kids the things that they truly need to get out in the world and you know, just be, you know, successful students in the future. The other things I mentioned in there are things like we talked about, you know, as far as the results reporting, you know, that's a big key as far as the student success piece. You can hear, you know, you hear from our buildings that they're doing, you know, progress monitoring and data collection and so on and so forth with students, you know, all the time to make sure kids are moving forward and meeting those benchmarks and, you know, trying to, you know, continue to improve and get better. So I tell you what, there's a lot that we're doing, the student success piece, very, very strong here in Burlington. And with that, I will stop. Any questions for me?
Can I just jump in on that too? Like, so one of my people that I hired today is a Burlington grad, and they happened to bring in a portfolio from when they were a senior, but it allowed me not only to look at college credits, because if it happens with like Darla's building, then it's a Title I school, so many hours, but also the work keys, so all that information was there, and I mean, it's nice, like when I get other people, I don't have all of that stuff just in hand and know, and so in terms of preparing, I mean, this young lady did graduate with 36 hours of college credit. She is in school right now. I mean, took advantage of a lot of things while she was here, and now she's back helping serve our kids, so that's awesome.
And the last thing, kind of tied, I did thank our administrators and directors, but the student success piece, our staff every day in our buildings, they do a lot of great things, and they have their challenges too, and that's why they get up every morning and come to work, much like our administrators and directors. So big thank you to all of our staff and all of our buildings for everything they do.
Good. More questions for Craig? Having none, okay, moving on to board member reports. Anybody have anything, board members?
I guess I didn't see it on the agenda, I should have said something earlier. I don't know if we want to mention our open house we're having this Thursday. There's lots of talk and questions and information to be shared Thursday at the elementary school and next Tuesday about our future of Burlington Elementary School. Come learn lots of information, ask questions. Some of the board will be there, Craig will be there, we'll have others there. So I just want to make sure we put that out there. It's in the agenda, and I figured now is a good time to. There's more information on the webpage if we find it.
Yes, and we do have an advertisement that was in the paper. It will be running last week and I think this week too.
So hopefully we get lots of response, lots of people come to that.
I've had numerous conversations in the last week after they saw the newspaper.
Yeah.
They've all been great conversations, very informative for everybody, and
Yeah.
it's awesome.
Yeah, hope we have a good turnout.
Thanks. Anybody else? Okay, contracts. Appointment to CCC.
And this is one that we have a board member on our CCC. They may or may not be able to attend meetings, it all depends on the schedule and so on and so forth, but we do have curriculum coordinating council meetings quarterly, where we have our administrators, directors are there, as well as our subject level, what is it? Thank you. And with our staff, we have there are leaders in the different subject levels. So anyway, we go over a variety of different things with Stacy Bruton, and those are quarterly meetings, kind of like leadership meetings, if you will.
And Ronnie, you were on that last year, are you still okay with that?
Yeah.
Ronnie's okay with that, okay. So, is it approved CCC?
Yeah, you got motion to approve it.
Motion to approve Ron Hess as board representative for the Curriculum Coordinating Council, the 2024-2025 school year.
Second.
Motion second discussion? Submit your vote.
Do I vote for myself? I guess it's up to you.
You can.
Majority.
You kind of odd to vote no after saying
Yeah,
that.
I can vote no, we're here.
One of my personalities is
Motion
okay,
carries
calling
6-0.
the other one's not.
Okay, we've talked about this already, that, construction manager at risk, you want to have anything else to say about it?
I've given you some information there. Christy and I put together some information and working together with Clark Simpson, our architect, as well as some people at KSDE. This will be something different for us. We've never done a project like this, but it helps us in terms of setting a price. Like architects, they have an idea of what square footage is going to cost, but truly, when you get into bigger projects and add-ons, renovation type scenario, it gets to a point where the construction management companies have a much better idea of what that's going to cost, what a square foot, for a new or a renovation type project will cost. So with that being said, if this project, it really benefits us to have our architect working with the construction management company and trying to find the best way to do the project and the most, I'm going to say the cheapest way, the most efficient way financially, the best financially for us. So with that being said, what we would be doing is putting out, an RFQ, if you will, request for qualifications. And if you look in that document there, it gives the timeline. If you had a chance to take a peek at the document, it's on the last page. So the public notice would be posted tomorrow. And then you have a 2-week period there. There can be a public comment hearing, which we would probably try to do, I'm going to say at a special board meeting on that, I think the first is a Friday, if I remember correctly, yes. And then if there's any comments that can be heard at that time, and then, also to it, and on the 15th, we release the request for qualifications. And everybody has to submit by the 1st. And then after that's over, we will review the RFQs on the 4th and determine which companies we would like to, we'll have a rubric. We'll be able to determine who we want to have for an invitation for an interview. And then we will be able to, on the 4th, review those different construction management companies, and then we will issue a request for proposal. RFQ becomes then an RFP. They will then have 2 weeks to prepare our proposal, and we will interview construction managers on the 22nd, have a selection by the 25th. And then they will be ready to go. And remember this project, quick reminder on this project, we did $1 million for 3 years from our public, and also we have a $250,000 grant from the Jones Trust. So we had a budget, if you will, for this add-on and renovation for the Burlington High School welding shop. Any questions?
Are we going to set a maximum price on this that's,
Not to exceed,
not
yes.
to exceed,
We put out in the request, if you'll notice, I think it says up and right around 960. Clark believes that that's a number that is doable, and what they will bid is based on his drawings. Now, again, comparing apples to apples, if we end up selecting a construction management company, after we choose them, they may come back and say, hey, you might be able to do this, it might be less expensive if you do it this way. So it becomes what they call value-added engineering. They can add value to figure out how you can do the project either less expensive or a different way of thinking. So that's the benefit of getting the architect and the construction management company on board. And then you do have like a not to exceed, dollar amount. There can be change orders that can occur, like anything, like the first grade wing, like the science wing that we had at the high school and middle school. So, but I would say the ever-changing scope of what we're dealing with construction companies, this is our way to go.
And it's basically what the jail's doing right now. They're doing the same type of project right now, so.
Craig, who does the reviews of the RFQs and who does the interviews?
The board and Clark will be here with us. Clark Simpson, our architect, will be here. So we will, we'll meet to go over the qualifications, and then we will determine who we're gonna have come do a proposal.
Okay.
Question. Any other questions? And it all depends on how many. Clark believes that there's a number of companies that are very interested in this project. And I've had a number of companies come knock on my door to talk to me about this project and other potential projects in the future.
Emails or letters.
So I would expect we would have a fair amount of people, construction companies interested. Any other questions?
Okay, motion to approve the construction management at-risk per alternative project delivery building construction procurement act found in KSA 19-216B.
That's what
Yeah.
I said.
And
Yeah.
sec.
That's
For the Burlington High School Bowag Shop addition and renovation.
Second.
Most seconded, discussion? No discussion, submit your vote.
So Ed Sack, we're going to volunteer to read that. I hit it as soon as it popped
There
in.
it goes.
Motion carries 6-0.
We'll set some times on some of those dates. I'll shoot an email out to you and see. I know Friday may be a working lunch type thing is a possibility. That can be good. I know it's not always easy to get away, but as many people, hopefully everybody can make it. And we can do like a working lunch, and we'll get lunch in here and hole up in the office and knock out some work.
Okay, there we got a chance to look over the policy updates. Or do you wanna go through them all and go on?
Looked like a bunch of legalese changes.
Yeah.
And I will say, I tell you, this is my 9th year to be superintendent here. This has been the most challenging month. I'll just preface this by saying, because June, there were some questions on some policy updates. They said, you might hold off on those. That's why we held off. And then we got a kind of Christy and I got advisement in August. Yes, don't adopt those policies. If you did, you need to rescind those. And that was why these are a little bit later. So we had a June, and then an August adjustment, and we didn't get to these in September, so here we are in October. You're right, a lot of language, I will go over any of them if you want.
Well, KSB is pretty well stayed on top of this stuff, so,
Right.
so we're gonna call when we don't agree unless.
Yeah, and we do a good job of, like, one of them is executive session, we state exactly why we're going into executive session, so I think there was a district that got slapped on the wrist for
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
doing
that
properly.
was the only one that I saw that I was like is going to affect us on a regular basis.
In the work comp GAOE, there just is some adjustment that that's the law. We had to adjust from 20 days to 30 days in terms of notification with an injured employee, and the EBBG, which is the cardiac emergency response planning. Lori Herman and I are working on that. If you look at that, it's honestly the way, I'm trying to find that, would you go back to that real quick? Honestly, the plan, there's bullet points there. That's honestly what we're looking at is creating a plan. We don't have to have that until, I want to say it was next year in place. We would like to have it in place before then. So the bulleted points there, like establishing a cardiac emergency response team, that's, you follow those bulleted points to create your plan. So.
We already have AEDs.
We already have
and stuff.
AEDs.
We do.
Right, it's not like this was a something, do all this stuff that isn't in place.
And each building has a team of people that, again, I wanna say the AD usage, the Narcan piece.
Yep, everybody's trained on that every year by the where she comes in, has the EpiPens and the AEDs and does all that. And then any coach that's in the building is recertified and all that every 2 years.
It's more, I say, just this is the formality of having a plan specific to these things, because I'm guessing there are people in districts that don't.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's what I'm getting at, is we're lucky enough to be able to, I mean, for some school districts, this could be a significant financial hit to be told to put AEDs in each building.
Yeah, the AEDs are not cheap, and like Christie had mentioned too, and I've got to find it here, it was in a bill.
They added to one of the house bills this session to go along with school budgets,
Yes.
to add it along and into school budgeting.
I-
So where they mandate, you have certain postings on your website, for example, having this policy is also one of them.
Was that followed up with substantial financial reinforcement to have those things in place?
It's called an unfunded mandate.
Yeah, I think that's what I was getting at.
Unfunded mandate, which that happens a lot, but I don't know if you have any other questions.
This is, our policy.
Like they were, yeah, leave it, just making it ours.
Right, there is the adjustment also, I'm gonna say to the GACCA, the nepotism policy piece. And this was something that, like I say, in the midst of June and August, the adjustments, we didn't get this done. This is really what we do here in our district. And any questions on that? And then there is going to be one for selection of library, media materials, instructional materials. That's going to be coming next month. Our library media people, along with our administrators, have worked on an adjustment or a revamping of that library and instructional materials policy. So that's going to be coming next month. Wanted to wait on that one. It's going to be a little bit more extensive, and kind of want us to focus on that one and that one only. I think that's it, unless you have any questions.
Accept the motion.
Move to approve the June 2024, August 2024, and GACCA policy updates as presented.
I'll second.
Motion seconded, discussion? No discussion, submit your vote. Motion carries 6-0.
I don't have anything, no, unless anybody,
Either one,
no, for me either.
so. It was nice to see the donations to the school, for the staff and the student, so they're from the vendor, from the merchants, so that was nice to see.
Yep, that's all, yeah. I wanted to say that too, thanks for the donations.
And we will be doing a photo op tomorrow with Wolf Creek for the donation, Wolf Creek, representative from Wolf Creek Evergy for the donation towards the Belk. And we'll get a picture and a short little story for you in the paper. We're gonna keep you busy, Katie. As if you're not already busy.
And then reminder for school board conference, if anybody hasn't signed up, wants to go, give it to Christie. Other than that, stand adjourned.
Night, guys, thank you.